Well, hello friends. Today we are going to try to fix some bugs because when I did the monthly update video, then I ran into bugs and I didn't like that. So let's try to fix some of those. And let's start with, so there was this problem here that if I typed something into Hack Studio, and then if I search in files, and I search for something that's like here, like search for printf, then it would tell me that it's in main CPP on line 6, which is here, which is not correct. So the problem is that I've offset that thing, and go away, documentation, and it still thinks it's at 6. So let's look into why that's happening, because the line number is all goofed. It's like it's just looking up based on the original position in the document. So what's it called? Findinfiles widget. This is the thing that we made the other day that does the searching. So let's see. Where do we actually do the search? I guess we call findinfiles, right? And who calls that? Is this guy right here. So when we click on the button in the findinfiles little panel, then we call findinfiles, passing it the text that we want to search for. And then what we do here is we call for each text file on the project. And then for each file we call find. And I bet you that things are going wrong in find. So let's go and look in find. There are so many finds. I guess we can, for each text file gives us what? Text document. Oh, but I will want to rename that class. Because I did not do this in the video, but I have text document right now is a member, like a file, represents a file that's in a project in Hack Studio. We call those text documents. And then internally, they have gtext documents, which are, they are this libgui object that represents the document inside of a text editor widget. But text document is a crappy name for this class. So let's rename it to project file instead, because it's the file that's inside of a project. So let's just rename that right away. Project file. Okay, and text document.h. I guess we have a few places to do this. Tap. Not that one. Not you. But definitely you. Okay, and then we will just git move Hack Studio text document to DevTools Hack Studio project file. I feel like my C key is starting to give a little bit. That's not good. I mean, I've been typing the heck out of this keyboard, but I didn't think I would have to replace it. Maybe I can just clean it up. Not that it's very dirty, mind you, but could probably do with some cleaning. I've been typing away on this thing for every day for over a year, so. Yeah, anyways. Okay, so we're just renaming text document to project file. That's all good, and let's just make sure we edit the makefile as well. So bye text document, hello project file. And let's do a full build, just to be sure. Okay, that looks good. So, Hack Studio rename text document project file. text document was extremely confusing. Was not the right name and got even more confusing with the addition of gtext document in libgui. What do you want, phone? Oh. Nothing terribly important. Let's see. All right, so that's good. Now, what were we supposed to do? We were supposed to look at how it searches in files, right? So let's go to project file. And then we have find, which, oh yeah, right. It will return back a vector of line numbers. I cannot click on you? Why not? Oh, I have to regenerate my QCreator. Yeah, there we go. My QCreator project. It doesn't auto-update. I do this quite often, so I can tell that this is a feature I'm going to want to have in Hack Studio, like automatic discovery of newly added or renamed files. Yeah. Because I like to just add files in the terminal, and then I want them to just show up in the in my IDE, right? But maybe I have an unusual style of project management like that. Like I like to do all my file management in the terminal and my text editing in the IDE. Maybe I'm skimping out on the integrated part of integrated development environment there, but it's just my workflow. But we'll see. Maybe we can find some nice way of doing it in the GUI as well. I shouldn't rule anything out. Anyways, so here it forces us to load the contents, and then what we do is we search through the contents. So we are actually searching through this byte buffer here, which is which we load from the file, but then if we load it from the file and then edit the file, this does not update. So basically we are searching through a stale copy here. So I'm thinking we definitely want to switch this over so that it looks in the so project file now has a name. That's just the file name, and then it has a cache of the text file contents that we read from disk, and then it has a gtext document. But the thing here is that this one is lazy, so we don't actually construct it until the first time that you open the file. Then we load it from disk and make a gtext document. But I'm thinking that let's just get rid of this thing. So contents, you can go away, and we'll just make document lazy instead, because document calls contents. And wait, did anyone else call contents? I guess we'll discover if someone else was calling it. So let's see, if we don't have one, then we'll just do this. Byte buffer. Well, no, hold on. If it fails, then we are going to have some serious trouble here. I mean, if we can't open it, we can't open it, right? So let's just assert not reached for now, because I don't want to deal with this particular error at the moment. Read all. Okay. So that'll be step one. That gets us rid of contents, but we still have to implement find. But I'm thinking that find should probably, it could be a function on gtext document instead, for instance, because it's kind of weird that find is implemented here, like in the project file. It's so arbitrary. So what would that interface look like? So gtext, or let's just try to use it to see what it would look like. We could just say, so we want to return a vector of line numbers that have this string on them. But maybe the best thing to do is to not return a vector of line numbers, but a vector of text ranges. I think that would be a better API. So gText range, and let's just put that API directly on the document. So who was calling this, by the way? It was in findinfiles widget. We're calling file.find. So let's just do file.document. Find. And we can call it find all, actually. And then this will give us a vector of gText range, and then auto range, match line number, file name and line number. Okay, so we're just trying to match the existing functionality now. So let's see, and then gText document, we are going to add this API here. Vector gText range, find all, string view, needle. This is the wrong class. I'm in text document line here. I want to be in text document, right? So, oops. So, oh, right. This has to be called range. Text range has line number, right? No, it doesn't. It has start. Range.start. Line number. Just line. Okay. There we go. We should probably return something richer here, but no, this will do for now. Okay, so now we just have to implement gText document find all. So gText range. And I think for this, we could actually, maybe we can steal some code that we already wrote. Text editor. We have find next. Find next should probably actually be a document function. So let's move that there. Because on gText editor, we have find next and find prev. Should probably be called find previous. And who uses these? Text editor app. Okay, so let's just move these to text document. And let's see. Because it used to be that gText editor was just one widget that had the document and everything built into it. But then the other day I factored out the document so that now gText document is a document that you can put into a gText editor, and it just represents like all the lines of text in a document. And then the text editor, like you can have the same document in multiple text editors, and they synchronize so that if you look at them, they have the same text in them. You can edit them. You can edit and select independently of each other, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, but like that refactoring is by no means finished. So Now we are continuing that work by moving some stuff. So here we have next position after and next position before. Clearly these are helper functions for the find next and find previous. So let's move those. And we'll rename that. I'm not a fan of abbreviations like prev, honestly. Like, I prefer previous. You might have noticed if you've been following my stuff, but I like to write things out because there's plenty of space on screens, plenty of horizontal space. Like, look at all this space, right? There's no, like, one of the silliest things happening, I think, is these people who insist on code being wrapped at 80 characters, because what would that be like over here? That's literally like half the screen wasted if I would wrap everything here. This is so weird. I prefer having really long verbose names and super obvious everything's. In my experience, that's just so valuable. Okay, so we wanted to, it's called find next. We're just going to move these fellas right on over to gtext document. And oh, we have that should wrap at end of document thingy. I guess that was in gtext editor. These little enum classes, we'll just put those guys right here. All right. And I think, oh right, we just need to rename that prev thing. So prev becomes previous. Beautiful. And then we could implement find all in terms of a loop that does find next. See, this is all going to work out thanks to we can stand on the shoulders of my past self, which is nice. You should always aim to put yourself in a position where you're building on previous work, if possible, right? That's something that I'm so happy about with this project, that I'm stashing everything that I do into this one big repository because that maximizes my ability to reuse anything that I do. I'm very, very happy with the monorepo layout of this project. Just the fact that you can use the same data structures in the kernel, in the GUI, and everywhere, like vectors and hash maps and these things, it's so neat. And all the smart pointers are the same. So let's see, character at, we should clearly move that out of gtext editor because this has nothing to do with, this is just looking up the character at a specific gtext position, which is very much a document operation. Plop. Wow, this factoring here is improving by the minute. I love it. Okay, and a gtext document. Look at that, beautiful. All right. Wait, what is that? I'm looking over here, looking at the gray. Why the gray? Oh, that's where the cursor is. Well, I'm silly. This thing over here is nice, by the way. Maybe we should have something like that for the Hack Studio. Although, like, I guess it becomes interesting once you are able to integrate with some kind of parser or compiler or something. Because at the moment we don't have that much to show. I'm talking about like how the scroll bar over here has like these little line indicators that there's a warning on a certain line. We'll get there, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what kind of architecture we end up with. There's so much stuff to do. Anyway, So let's do find all in terms of find next. So vector dtext range ranges. Then I guess we can do this. Auto range is find next. Oh, we need a start position. Start. We'll just start passing in a null start position. I guess we'll start from the head of the document. So here we can just pass the needle and the start. Or let's call it position. If range is, can a text range be null? Is that what we call it? Is valid? Yeah. Okay, so if range is not valid, we'll break. And here we'll just return the ranges we collected. But if it is valid, find next has type const text document. Bam, bam, bam. Find next feels like it should be const. Why is it not const? These things are not going to mutate to state, because they have all the state coming in, right? Wow, look at this. Design is improving. This is amazing. Ah, man. Working on fixing bugs is immediately putting me in a good mood, because I know this is the right thing to do right now, just to fix up things. Because I got a little feature happy in the last month, like I mentioned in the commute talk, in the last commute talk. Just been doing feature development for a whole month, letting the bugs pile up. So now we are dealing with that. Okay, so find next, and if we actually find one, we'll say ranges append range, and then we search again at range end. Yeah. My phone is buzzing, but it's just pleasantries. So that's good. Okay, maybe this would all just work. Let's look in the text editor app, just so that we fix, because I changed those names from, I moved them from editor to document, so we can just do that. And down here, there's no find prev at all, but there is document find previous. So cool. I have to say my machine has been a little nicer to use after I got the RAM upgrade. Got those sweet 16 gigabytes here. Up from the previous 4. That's definitely a huge improvement. Look at these. So much free, so much in buffers and caches. It's quite nice. Alright, so we forgot project file. We have to actually update find here. I guess in this case, all we have to do is just return document find all needle, although this API is busted, and we could just get rid of that API. That's what I said I would anyway. And find in files. Let's take a look at you. Right, we were getting the file name and line number, but we could do better than that now. Let's just see if this works. So hopefully we have implemented the original functionality here once again. So let's see that we can search it all. Printf. Nope, that did not work out. It is spinning 100% CPU, so seems like we are going in a loop. And I bet you that we are in a find all loop. And why is that? Should wrap at start of document. Next position after. So we'll just wrap around. Well, we don't want that. Right, so that's an issue. So this has only been used in the text editor app so far, and it will just wrap around. When you find like a match at the bottom of the document, it'll wrap around and start from the top again. And because of that, now we are just going in an internal infinite loop. So find next here is going to have to specify should wrap start of document. And I guess we'll specify here. I wonder, we could probably use one enum for both of these, but it's okay to have both. It's very verbose and nice this way. Enum, enum. I know someone said the other day that they say enum rather than enum. I don't know. I guess I just say enum. Or enum. Why do I care about this suddenly? I don't. Okay. So here now we are going to take should wrap at end of document, should wrap, and wait, what? That's the wrong definition of find next. Oh, because I'm silly. These are backwards. Dang it. All right. Hold on. When we find next, we want to wrap at the end. And when we find previous, we want to wrap at the start. So they were backwards. It's another reason that we should have the same enum for both, probably. Anyways, so here we'll just pass that should wrap parameter to, we pass it along to next position after. And we do the same down here, so, but find previous has to check start a document. Okay, and actually we can't have a default here. What am I doing? Should wrap. Okay, then we pass it along. Boom. And find all actually has to pass something reasonable here. So it's going to pass should wrap at end of document. No, you're not going to do that because we want to stop at the end of the document. No matching function call. Next position after, and then passing a start. Okay, did I totally silly this thing after all? Should wrap cannot initialize a parameter of type. Find previous. Wait, what? Okay, so we're calling next position after here. Oh, crap. Right. They're not identical. So here, we have to convert it to yet another reason that we should use the same one. Okay, this is getting silly. So should wrap is fine, but we should just rename this to should wrap. Let's call it should wrap. No, yes, yeah, right. Okay, because I don't want to have to say yet another reason one more time. So we'll do it this way. because then suddenly this becomes a lot less error prone and less annoying. Okay. Let's see, search wrap, and let's move it into gtext document just to scope it a little tighter, not pollute the global namespace so much. We'll say gtext, search wrap. Okay, all right. Suddenly, things are starting to look a little bit more sane. So I went with search should wrap rather than just should wrap, because wrap, it's like a little bit of an overloaded term when it comes to something like a text document, right? Because you often talk about line wrapping, word wrapping, and it can be about many things. So in this case, this is really specifically about if search should wrap around. So in fact, maybe it should even be called search should wrap around. But search should wrap, I think that's good enough for me to know what it is. All right, so let's see. Printf. Nope, still burning that CPU. Oh, it's so bad that we hung, actually. All right, well, why is it happening then? Next position after. Oh, we're not calling it with the argument here. That makes sense. Now everyone is passing the argument, and previous position before also forgets to pass should wrap. Okay. So now that we have been a little more thorough, let's try that one more time. Here we go. Cool, but now the line number thingy is wrong, because I guess the old API was working in terms of one-based line numbers. So we can fix that. So the findinfiles widget here, we're producing a vector of file name and line number. So we're instead going to produce a file name and range. And let's see, let's make those. And we will just add the whole range. And then we can, does gtext range have a stringification thingy? To string, no. Can we output it easily somehow? Oh, these are here. They should not be here. They should be somewhere else. They should be in gtext range. But anyway, let's see. So we can, let's just try making the thingy extremely verbose. So match.range.start line. Match range start column. Like that, and the line, let's add one for the humans. And we can even say, where does it go to? So we're going to have to break this up into a couple of lines here. Okay, and then we'll also print out the end. There we go. Look at that. It's pretty cool. So now we have the whole range. Of course, now we can't click on that because it's very stupid the way that we handle double clicking. If you recall from when I implemented this, we actually take the string that you're double clicking on, and then we do a string split where we look for the colon, and then the part on the left is the file name, and the part on the right is the line number. But what we actually, the coolest thing would be if you double click on a search result and it actually jumps to that location and selects the match. So let's try doing that. Because then we will have improved this quite a bit. We didn't only fix the bug, but we will have improved the feature. So let's see. So we have all of this information in the search results model, which is what we produce when we do a find operation. This actually, it irritates me a little bit that I'm calling it find, but it produces a search result. Like maybe it should be called search in files and produces search results, or should we produce a find result? Anyway, just telling you what's in my mind. I dislike this kind of inconsistency because it's just one more little grain of sand of cognitive burden, and I prefer to minimize that. So I'm probably going to rename this at some point, but not right now when we're in the middle of this. But consistency is very helpful for keeping a clean slate in your mind. So the issue is that when we activate or double click on a result in this little list that pops up, then all we have is an index into the model. And then I guess what we really want to do is just get this object for that index. So we could actually, how is it that you do this again? There is a way that we can teach the model to associate an arbitrary object with each index. So when it gives you an index, that index could magically inside it have a void star basically that would allow us to extract this if we know about it. So let's use that mechanism. I just have to remind myself how the heck that works. Wait, oh wow, this is so weird here. You override, is it create index? Yeah, you override this guy. And then you call create index with a void star here that just can be anything. So let's do that. If you have ever used Qt model view stuff, then this might be a little bit familiar because they have a similar mechanism. But basically you can bundle an arbitrary pointer with the indices. That's the parent index, I don't care about that. So let me put this down here somewhere. Let's say override. And what the heck do I want to do? This is the function that gets called whenever this model is going to create it. Whenever we are creating an index to anything in this model, it will be funneled through this virtual. So here, we want to pass that void star, and it's going to be this guy, which will be just the address of matches at row. Maybe it's that simple actually, because then down here, when we activate this thing, then we don't need to extract the data, but we can instead do file name and range. So auto file name and range. Or what do we even call those? Matches, right? So we'll call it a match. Match is file name and range, maybe even const. Index data. Okay, and then we're gonna open match file name. Actually, we can even do this. Okay, let's be hardcore and dereference it. Match dot file name. Oh yeah. And then we can do current editor. Can we do set selection? We can set selection with a freaking text range. Look at this. Set the selection to the range, focus the editor, and boom, we're done. This is so tidy. I hope it works. I hope I understand my own system correctly here. And we don't need any captures there, so it wasn't even compiling with the captures. Let's see. No member named data. Frick, what's it called then? Gmodel index. Internal data. Okay, my bad. Why did I think data was valid? Why was it letting me say that? Maybe I just imagined that it was valid. Okay, internal data. Click, click. Oh, look at that shit. That's so cool. Okay. Let's try it again. Turn. Whoop. I love it. I frickin' love it. All right. That's so neat. Let's search for something that will show up in more places. Bloop. 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 Okay, so it looks a little weird down here. But it is very, very cool. So I think this is not the final form of the look of the search results, definitely. But I think this feature is just hugely better now, because now it actually shows you exactly what matched and even selects it. So cool. So what have we done here? A lot of stuff. Okay. I guess we can do the text editor changes separately. So that's really just about changing this find API. So let's see. This is the text editor app, just updating it for the API change, moving find next and find previous to gtext document. Here we're moving various functionality from gtext editor to gtext document. And we change that enum so that it's shared between backwards and forwards search. And then we add find all, which is implemented in terms of a find next loop. Pretty cool. And here is a completely pointless extra new line. Well, I'm not going to stand for that. Boom. Div cached. Okay, okie dokie dokie. Just the same changes and the stuff we were moving out, and everything's good. All gooey. Move, find next rev, and text search from gtext editor to text document. Also add a find all that returns a vector to text range and is implemented internally, and simply does a find next loop, returning all the matches, matching ranges. Okay, cool. And then we have the Hack Studio changes. So we got rid of the byte buffer in project file, so now we don't have a potentially stale cache of each file that we would search through, because that was the bug that showed up in my monthly update video. So we're getting rid of that cache, and we don't risk having stale content. And then we got rid of this goofy custom find search implementation here in project file. Now, project file is the only thing that it does is has a lazy document opening thingy. So when you call document on a project file, it will load the document if it hasn't been loaded already. This is quite nice because it allows us to get started, start up fast, because we don't actually load every single file on startup. Of course, we'll have to load them if you do a search in all files, then we have no choice but to open all the files. Okay, and then in the find in files widget, when we activate, we now extract the file name and range directly instead of doing the super awkward string splitting parsing stuff. And this allows us to get the exact range and select that. And then find in files is now calling file document find all instead of calling that goofy project file custom search thingy. And here is that custom index override that inserts the cool internal void star thingy so that we can get to the internal data of the index. Let's just tidy that up a little bit. Can we put that on a single line? Wait, is this wrapping or what? Oh yeah, it's just wrapping in QCreator. Well, that's weird. I guess I turned on line wrapping in QCreator at some point. I don't know if I like it actually, it's kind of annoying. I'm undecided. Anyway, so git commit -a. Hack Studio. Use gtext document find all to implement find in files. This fixes the bug seen in my monthly update, OS update video, where we'd search or we'd look through a stale copy of each file instead of the potentially different, potentially edited version in the text document. Search results are now also represented as a full gtext range, and we jump to the range and select it. And when you jump to a search result, we select the whole matching range. That's pretty cool. I'm adding one of those. I like those. All right, so that's definitely a bug fixed from the monthly OS update video. And I guess it took me a moment, but we ended up with a much better architecture, much better design. The bug is gone, and the feature has improved. So I think that's going to be it for today's video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching and for hanging out and for your continued interest in my project here. And it's a new month. Let's just keep going, see where we get to. But as I mentioned, I'm going to try to do some cleanup and fixing bugs and stuff for a while to improve the stability of the system, because it got a little bit out of hand with all the features and none of the stability work. So, but I think that will be interesting as well. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.